welcome back. So it's Boxing Day, very relaxing Christmas. Hope you all had a good one, but in the workshop, that was always the plan. So got the truck cab painted a few days ago now, so we're into clear sanding and buffing. I just spent the morning putting the bumper on my mate's WB 1-tonner that we colour coded the front bumper on. I'll put a couple of pictures of that up now. But today we are all about taking that beautiful shine, which always seems a shame, and we're starting the clear sanding process. So that's 1500. I'm almost all the way around with 1500 Trizac, and then we got some hand sanding to do around here, and then we'll 3000, 5000 over the whole thing. Then we can start the polishing process. I'm looking forward to doing that dash. Actually, that's going to come up mint. So everything's going real good here. It's just a lot of work, but I'm so looking forward to next week rolling around, and I'll be able to start putting panels back on this thing, polish the big exhaust, put them on. It's going to be a good time. Well, that's going to do it for Boxing Day. So that's been clear sanded all the way through to 5000 grit there. So that's ready to come in tomorrow and hit that with 2 grades of compound through 3 grades of polishing pad, and that should come up like the top of a grand piano. We'll get back to that tomorrow. Well, we're getting around the cab. That's the first pass with the foam pad. We've already done a lap with the wall pad, so that's all happening. Got Tyler in the booth just hanging up some door hinges, making some hooks so that we can put the doors on tomorrow. So yeah, we're getting it done. Pretty killer day here, so it's best not to look outside and imagine the day that I could be having, but we want this truck done, so let's haul ass. Well, it's the next day. Good morning. It's about 7:30 here on a Sunday. So I got the whole Chevy truck cab polished out yesterday, which is really cool. Probably could have done with another day, maybe sort of hardening up, but it did make it a lot easier with the clear coat a little bit softer. We'll spin it around and have a bit of a look. So as you can see, that truck polished out really well. Excellent reflection. The couple little runs that I had in the clear, they came out really easily. They were nothing major at all. Also colour sanded and polished the dash. That was pretty quickly there yesterday before I left, so that's going to get another just swirl remover probably today at some stage. But yeah, couldn't be happier. So happy to see that all sort of blacked out and ready to start putting back together after a really good wash, because man, everything is pretty filthy from all the colour sanding and compound flying around. But today we got the doors for the sleeper cab primed up there yesterday, so I'm just going to give them a little spot deburr or little tidy up anywhere that's necessary, and then run the Wizzy over them with 400 grit and a little bit of Scotch-Brite around the rivets. I've just noticed a little flaw in the corner of that door, so might just have to check that out. That might need a bit of glaze and just sand down. Anyway, we're into that today, so we'll see how it goes. So just getting the sleeper cab doors all knocked down with 400 grit, and then going around with grey Scotch-Brite and just scuffing by hand all around the rivets, get them all scuffed up and nice and flat and smooth. and then we'll get them cleaned down and get them in the booth and yeah, get some paint on them. So that's going pretty good. Just a couple little rub throughs, so just spray a little bit of etch prime on those and we'll get them in the booth, get them cleaned up, ready to go. So I've got the doors all set up in the booth, give them a wipe down and then a tack rag, start throwing down some base coat. So we just got done with 4 coats of base on those doors. Just giving them plenty of flash time, mixing up some clear now, and we'll get in there and spray them out. They're going to look mint. We've got the truck outside, just getting some sun on it, and before I go, the Savo, I just want to give everything a wash and get all that compound and all that clear that I've sanded off all over the chassis and all over the tanks, and yeah, clean it up and get it looking nice. Time to start putting it back together. But that does bring me to the next thing. So as well as getting that truck painted over the brake, this Monaro, which is another one of my projects, that's been waiting patiently on the hoist. I've got to get that firewall painted because I've already got the chassis and the engine and everything sitting there in that cradle. I want to get the chassis back in it so I can get it rolling again to get the 2-post hoist back to actually do real work and stuff. Who would have thunk it? So just outside, giving all that compound and clear sanding dust, getting all that off the truck. Looking killer out in the sun, that's for sure. Really, really happy with how that came out. Next to the other big truck. Anyway, we'll go into the booth and just check how that clear flowed out. Make sure there's no flies stuck in it like a while back. Alright, those doors look really, really good. So there's definitely something in that. They were primed yesterday, and I was going to just wet on wet those, but I wasn't that happy. There was a bit of texture in them and things like that, so I thought, nah, we'll put some primer on yesterday and then come back in this morning and sand them all down like I showed you earlier, and then sort of been trying to get that clear to lay down better, and they do lay down flat, so it's a lot easier to paint, that's for sure. You know, full access all around the panel and literally just spraying it down. But it cranked the pressure up a little bit, moved a hell of a lot faster, and yeah, that's definitely the go. So still a lot of practice to go, you know, moving around a full vehicle and difficult curves and things like that, but I mean, I'm absolutely stoked with this truck. It's turned out killer. It's polished up really good. Never worked with that system before, so you know, this is a first for me, and I'm really, really happy with it. So just going to be a short little video, just going to wrap that one up now. What are we, Sunday Arvo, so it's been a hell of a last week, even though it was sort of supposed to be a week off. I'm going to back it off a little bit now, slow things down a little bit, but it's only lunchtime now, so head home, see the family, and enjoy the rest of the day. You do it too. Thanks for watching. Hey, please leave a comment. If you're a painter, throw some stuff at me, you know, that you think might help out. You've seen sort of, you know, what we've had going on and what I've had to overcome. So yeah, Like, comment, subscribe, helps out heaps. Well, g'day, it's the next day. Back in the shop. Just pulled the sleeper cab doors out of the booth, and I've spent the morning sanding down the sleeper cab, prepping all where the permanent rivets are going to be. The main thing is I just want to get some black epoxy primer on that, because I've got a little bit of bodywork to do on the corners, and the stainless steel trims are going to cover up the majority of the other fasteners. So pretty much plan is epoxy that today, have a look at the hinges and things like that. They're already in epoxy, and I think they've already been primed as well, but if they're not primed, we can prime them and the sleeper cab at the same time, and then it's just colour to go. A little bit of bodywork on the sleeper cab though, not too much, it should be pretty quick. My main thing is I want to try and get this truck all back in one piece before my break is over and real work starts back on the 5th. So if I can get all the panels hung and get the sleeper cab back on the truck, that saves me a huge amount of workshop space, which is really important. So let's get into it. So we're just using a PPG Epotech epoxy primer in black. I'm going to put that on fairly heavy today. Want to make sure it's got a really good solid base over that aluminium before we start our bodywork. But the good thing that I've found with this black epoxy is when you're doing your bodywork, you can actually see really easy when you're about to break through to the epoxy. And my big idea on that, when I sort of do more of this restoration stuff, is that hopefully most of the time you can leave that epoxy behind, you know, onto the bare metal, and not end up with the filler going through to bare metal. Not that that doesn't work, it's just that a lot of guys that I really respect in the industry are saying that, you know, that's best practice for something that you really want to last, you know, pretty much forever. So if that's the best practice, that's how we're going to do it here. G'day again. Well, you are joining me on a Saturday morning, like weeks after those last clips were filmed. Pretty much came back to work and like it just went absolutely crazy after the break. So I mean, I knew I had a heap of stuff going on, but I think, what are we now? Oh, we're Australia Day long weekend, so Australia, good on you. Anyway, so we're here Saturday morning. Let's just have a quick buzz around and see what's going on. I mean, the Chevy truck's bloody near put together and haven't changed anything. So let's go and have a look. Check this thing out. I don't think you've seen any of this. So we got grill in, bumpers on, fenders on, doors on, exhaust on, functioning door handles. Let's not even talk about how much fun that was to install. So we have a Chevy truck that is starting to look like a truck that's going to do truck things. So that's a thing. That is absolutely a thing. We've got firewalls painted in the mirror. lost. Um, a 100 door. That's some other F. Back out and into 2K Pro. With you, what's going on to get set up, ready to. So that's cool. Hand, so that's probably going to owe me $3.5 grand. So setting up an area here. Then Wizardist papers. Your mixing cups. That's just a pile of two different ones of those, and the 3M. And I think that's another $2,500–3,000 worth of gun just in those new. Sorry about. Like it. I am considering it. story. So you can see untouched. Down, and then hopefully we can get the rest of that out with that tap down. Over the corner. And now that we've come up to over the top of the, and now I've just got some first because to be honest, I had some big hangers. That these doors were. I wish I turn that back off. We live because there is not a now and then start go for it and out the rest of the door, and then make a decision on just so out of control. And what you've got to sort of bear in mind too is that I've only got Saturdays to do this project. Wasn't quite ready to go into poly, but it seals it. So anyway, on that door that we just blocked out. Hopefully we can block that out in the primer. Prime, block, again, prime, again, block, and then eventually colour.